All right, so let's get right into it. I think everyone listening to this probably has had an ant problem at some point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it can be really, really frustrating.
Ah.
We're launching a full-scale attack today on those little kitchen invaders.
Yeah.
And today's deep dive, we're going straight to the experts at Simple Pest Management,
Okay.
right here in sunny San Diego. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, their article's so detailed, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But if you want to follow along, actually see some of this stuff because they've got some really helpful visuals.
Okay.
You can go to simplepestmanagement.com.
That's right.
That's their website,
Mm-hmm.
simplepestmanagement.com. And hey, while you're there, give a follow on social media.
Yeah, for sure.
They put out some really, really good stuff.
Yeah, they've got pictures, videos, all sorts of things that can help you.
Absolutely.
So you can really visualize what we're talking about.
Yeah, and also I just want to say like and subscribe to our content here too.
Oh.
If you like what you hear and you want to stay tuned for more.
Please do.
Okay, so
We?
before we storm the anthill,
Yes. I think
know your enemy right.
we got to know what we're up against.
Know your enemy.
Yeah.
That's the first step.
So what kind of ant armies
Yeah.
are we most likely facing here in San Diego?
So San Diego's got its own little sort of unique ant population. We've got a few different varieties,
Okay.
but the main culprits that you're probably going to run into are odorous house ants,
Okay.
sugar ants, carpenter ants, and Argentine ants.
Now those are some pretty great names.
Yeah.
I'm picturing like little soldiers marching, you know.
Yeah. Little uniforms.
But seriously though, how do we tell these guys apart? I
Yeah.
mean, don't they all just want my snacks?
I mean, they do. They all love snacks.
Okay.
But they've got slightly different tastes
Oh,
and tactics.
Okay.
So odorous house ants,
Yeah.
they get their name for a reason.
They leave behind this really funky smell
Really?
when you crush them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like rotten coconut.
Ooh.
It's really distinct.
Okay.
And these guys, they're not just after sweets. They like grease. They like protein.
So they're like coming for my cookies, eating my bacon.
Exactly. They're after it all.
It's a balanced diet, huh?
Yeah, they really explore all the culinary options.
They're gourmands.
Yeah.
Okay. What about sugar ants?
So sugar ants, much smaller,
Okay.
often a little lighter in color.
Yeah.
As their name suggests, they're really the sugar fiends
Okay.
of the ant world.
Okay. So identifying them helps us figure out what's attracting them in the first place.
Right, exactly.
It's like knowing their weakness.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
So if we know who we're dealing with, we know what they're coming for,
Right.
we can start to cut off the supply line.
Okay. So how do we make our kitchens less appealing to these tiny foragers? I mean, should I just hide all my food and live on takeout?
That might be a little extreme,
Okay. All right.
but there are things you can do.
Yeah.
You know, really, it comes down to being really, really meticulous.
Okay.
Food storage.
Okay.
So Simple Pest Management, they recommend keeping everything in airtight containers.
Oh, wow.
And I mean everything.
Everything.
Even pet food.
Oh,
Because ants,
even pet food. Okay.
yeah, they're persistent
Okay.
and are resourceful.
Yeah.
They can squeeze through the tiniest of cracks.
I'm picturing them like with little tiny jaws prying open the containers.
I mean, essentially, yeah.
Okay. I got to up my container game then.
Definitely get some good containers
Yeah.
and make sure they're airtight.
Okay.
But it goes beyond containers, too.
Right.
Think about like those stray crumbs under the toaster,
Oh, yeah.
sticky spills on the counter.
Right.
Those are beacons for ants.
Yeah.
So regular cleaning, wiping down surfaces daily.
Okay.
That's crucial.
And don't forget the trash.
Oh, yeah, the trash can.
That's like
That's their all-you-can-eat buffet.
exactly. So take out the trash daily,
Okay.
use tightly sealed bags,
All right.
and another thing that people often overlook is moisture.
Go.
So fix any leaky pipes
Uh-huh.
and don't let any standing water just sit there
Gotcha.
because that can attract them too.
Wow. So we're making our kitchens basically like ant-proof fortresses here.
That's the goal.
Yeah, we're just cutting off everything they might want.
Right, we're taking away all their incentives.
Okay, but what about those ants that are already inside?
Yeah, good question.
Like, you know, what do we do with those? How do we deal with those clever scouts
Right.
who've already infiltrated our defenses?
So that's where we disrupt their communication network.
Okay, how do we do that?
Well, believe it or not, ants are masters of communication.
Oh, really?
Yeah, They use pheromone trails.
What are those?
So those are basically chemical scents,
Oh.
and they act like road signs.
So they guide the entire colony to those food sources.
Wait, so they're leaving little scent trails
Yeah.
for their buddies to follow. It's like a miniature highway system.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So we can disrupt those trails.
Absolutely. And the best part is it's really easy to do.
Okay.
So Simple Pest Management suggests 2 really simple solutions.
Okay.
You can wipe down surfaces with a vinegar and water solution,
Oh.
or clean the affected areas with a mix of dish soap and water.
Right.
Both of those break down those scent trails.
Okay.
So basically,
leaving the reinforcements just confused.
yeah, lost and confused.
So we're like throwing their GPS system out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes it much harder for them to navigate.
Yeah, so by breaking those communication lines, you're preventing more ants from following that same path into your kitchen.
So we got their communication disrupted.
Right.
Now it's time to, I guess, fortify,
Absolutely.
seal off those entry points.
We're going to seal the crack.
Yeah.
Make sure they can't get in the first place.
Where are the weak spots?
Okay, so think about any cracks or gaps in your windows and door frames.
Oh.
Those sneaky little cracks along baseboards,
Yeah.
crevices near cabinets and walls.
Gotcha. So we got to get the caulking gun ready.
Exactly.
And seal up every nook and cranny.
Make it an impenetrable fortress.
Yeah.
Caulking is your secret weapon here.
Right.
And remember, inspect those areas regularly and reapply caulk if you need to.
Okay.
Because it can dry out and crack over time.
Right.
You want to maintain that seal.
Okay. So we're cutting off their food supply.
Yep.
We're disrupting their communication.
Right.
We're sealing off their entry points.
So far, so good.
What's next? What's next in our battle plan?
Now it's time for the counteroffensive.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to hit them with our secret weapon,
What's that?
ant bait.
Ant bait. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a clap.
Sounds intriguing. Let's talk bait.
Let's do it. So ant bait, it's a little bit like a Trojan horse. You know, it looks like a delicious treat to those worker ants, but it actually contains a slow-acting poison.
Ah, so it's a stealthy attack.
Right.
Okay, and I'm guessing they carry this back to the colony.
Exactly.
And share it with all the other ants.
Yeah. They bring it back to the nest.
Okay.
They share it with their buddies.
Yeah.
And because that poison works slowly, they have time to spread it throughout the nest before anyone realizes what's going on.
Oh, wow.
So eventually it reaches the queen.
Oh, so we're taking out like the command center.
Exactly.
From the inside.
It's a very strategic approach
to
to eliminating the whole colony.
Yeah.
Not just a few stragglers.
Okay, where's the best place to set these bait traps?
All right, so you got to think strategically. You want to place them near those active ant trails and those entry points that you've just so diligently sealed.
Right.
Simple Pest Management recommends using baits that contain borax or boric acid.
Right.
Those are really effective for slow-acting results.
Okay, so we're basically using their own like foraging instincts.
Exactly. Like we're turning their strengths to their weaknesses.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
Okay. Now I know some people are wary about using chemicals. You know, especially if they got pets or kids.
For sure.
Are there any like natural ways
Absolutely.
to combat these ant armies?
Yeah. Simple Pest Management, they highlight some really effective natural repellents.
Okay.
And these can be especially helpful for milder infestations.
Okay.
Or just as a preventative measure. It's like creating this natural barrier that ants just don't like.
Okay.
They're not going to want to cross it.
So what are some of these natural weapons that we can deploy?
So a popular choice is peppermint oil.
Peppermint oil.
Yeah, the strong scent of peppermint.
Yeah.
It's a major turnoff for ants.
Okay.
So you can mix a few drops with some hot water and just spray it around potential entry points, like your windows, your door, any cracks that you sealed.
So we're like creating a minty force field.
Exactly.
That they don't want to cross.
A minty force field. I love it.
Okay, what else works?
So you know how much ants love to follow those scent trails?
Yeah.
We can use that to our advantage.
Okay.
So lemon juice.
Yeah.
The acidity of lemon juice, it actually disrupts their pheromones.
Oh, okay.
So it makes it harder for them to find their way.
So we're not just repelling them, we're confusing them.
Exactly. We're throwing them off their game.
I love it.
Making them question their own instincts.
Okay, and if we want to add a little spice to their lives,
Oh, yeah.
what can we use?
cayenne pepper or black pepper.
Oh, yeah?
You can sprinkle that near entry points.
Yeah.
And that creates an irritant that ants just want to avoid.
Yeah. They don't like spicy.
Right. It's not their thing.
So it's like a spicy obstacle course.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what else can we use?
All right, so another really powerful weapon in our natural arsenal is diatomaceous earth.
Diatomaceous earth.
Now, this is made from fossilized algae.
Okay.
It's harmless to humans and pets,
Okay.
but it's deadly to ants.
How does that work?
So the microscopic shards in this powder, they damage their exoskeletons.
Oh, wow.
And that causes dehydration.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you can sprinkle that around entry points or anywhere you see ant activity.
Okay, so we got a whole arsenal of natural defenses.
We've got a lot of options.
Yeah, we do. But what happens if we've tried all this, and we still can't get rid of these tiny tenants?
Yeah.
Is there a way to like target their headquarters directly?
Sometimes you got to go straight to the source.
Yeah.
Right to the ant nest.
The ant nest.
Yeah, take out the command center.
Okay. How do we locate these hidden ant fortresses? Are they always out in the open?
They can be tricky to find.
Yeah.
But they usually leave clues. So simple pest management, they suggest checking around soil and mulch beds, foundation cracks, and areas near water sources like garden hoses or sprinklers.
So it's time for a little ant nest detective work.
Put on your detective hat and start searching.
Okay, we found the nest.
All right.
What's the best way to take it down?
So for smaller colonies, you can pour boiling water directly into the nest.
Oh.
That's usually a pretty effective solution.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be kind of satisfying, too.
Yeah, talk about a hot eviction notice.
Exactly.
But what if it's like a larger, more established colony?
Because in those cases, or if you're having trouble locating the nest, it's probably best to call in some professional reinforcements.
Okay, so when do we wave the white flag?
All right, so if you've tried all the DIY methods and the ants are still marching in, or if you're dealing with a particularly stubborn or aggressive species, like carpenter ants, professional pest control, they can provide a more targeted and effective solution. They've got the expertise to identify the species, locate the nest, and implement a treatment plan that's safe and effective.
So they're like the special forces of the ant fighting world.
I like that analogy, the ant fighting special forces.
I'm guessing simple pest management would be a good place to start?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They've got a wealth of experience dealing with ant issues right here in San Diego.
Right.
And even if you don't need their services right away, their website and social media are packed with information and tips.
Great point. Their website is like a treasure trove of knowledge.
It is.
Yeah, it's like a master class in ant warfare.
Ant Warfare 101.
Okay, but let's not forget, we're not just trying to get rid of ants. We're also trying to understand them.
Exactly.
Right.
These tiny creatures, they might be pests, but they're also fascinating examples of teamwork, communication, and adaptability.
Exactly. So while we're busy evicting them from our kitchens, let's take a moment to appreciate the incredible complexity
it really is amazing.
of the ant world. Now, before we wrap up, I think it's time to address some of the questions
Let's do it.
that our listeners have sent in.
Q&A time.
It's Q&A time.
All right, fire away.
Yeah, we got a lot of great questions.
Okay.
So let's dive right in.
Right.
The first one is from Sarah, and she asks, what about those sticky traps?
Sticky traps.
Do those actually work?
So sticky traps, they can be helpful for monitoring ant activity and catching a few stragglers. But they're not a long-term solution for a full-blown infestation.
They're more like a Band-Aid.
Exactly.
Than a cure.
Yeah.
You know, they might catch a few ants, but they're not going to get rid of the whole problem.
Right. You're not addressing the root cause.
Okay. The next question comes from John, and he asks, what's the best way to deal with carpenter ants?
Carpenter ants.
They seem much bigger and more intimidating.
Yeah, carpenter ants are definitely a force to be reckoned with. They're a different kind of ant, unlike other ants that are just foraging for food. Carpenter ants can actually cause structural damage to your home.
Wait, so they're not just after my snacks?
No, they're after something a little bit different.
What are they doing?
So they excavate wood to create their nests. They don't actually eat the wood, but they carve out these intricate tunnels and galleries within it.
So they're like little construction crews?
Yeah, tiny little construction crews.
But not in a good way?
Not in a good way.
And I'm guessing this can weaken the structure of a house?
Absolutely. Over time,
Yeah.
they can cause significant damage.
So what's the best course of action if you discover carpenter ants in your home?
So, because they can be so destructive and their nests are often hidden within walls or other structural elements,
Yeah.
it's usually best to call in a professional pest control company.
Okay.
They have the tools and the expertise
Yeah.
to locate and treat the nest effectively.
Okay, so carpenter ants are definitely the situation where we call in the pros.
Definitely get some expert help.
Now, let's move on to a question from Maria,
Okay, Maria.
who asks, are those ultrasonic pest repellers effective against ants?
So those ultrasonic devices,
Yeah.
they claim to emit these high-frequency sounds
Right.
that repel pests.
Yeah.
But there's really no scientific evidence
Right.
to support their effectiveness against ants.
Oh, okay.
So-
yeah, I've heard like mixed reviews about those.
Yeah.
They seem a bit too good to be true.
Yeah. I think it's probably safer to stick with those proven methods that
Really?
we've been discussing, things that we know actually work.
Okay, we have time for one more question before we wrap up.
All right, last one.
This one's from David, and he asks, what's the best way to prevent ants from coming back
Oh, good question.
once you've gotten rid of them?
Prevention is key
Yeah.
to long-term ant control.
Okay.
It really all comes back to those basic strategies we
Yeah.
talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, keep your kitchen clean,
Mm-hmm.
store your food properly,
Yep.
seal those entry points,
Yeah.
and regularly inspect those potential weak spots.
So it's like an ongoing maintenance routine
Yes, exactly.
for your home's like defense system.
Yeah, you got to be vigilant.
Right.
Even after the ants are gone.
And of course, if you're ever in doubt
Right.
or facing a particularly stubborn ant problem,
Yeah,
don't hesitate to call in the experts
absolutely.
at Simple Pest Management.
They're there to help.
They're your allies in this ant battle.
That's right. They're your ant fighting buddies.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
You know, from identifying those tiny invaders
Yeah.
to understanding their intricate communication networks.
It's fascinating stuff.
It is. And building our ant-proof defenses and deploying natural repellents.
Right. We've got a whole arsenal now.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It has.
But hopefully you've learned some valuable strategies
I hope so.
for keeping those pesky ants out of your kitchen.
For sure. And remember, it's not just about eliminating them.
Right.
It's also about understanding them.
Exactly. These tiny creatures might be a nuisance,
Yeah.
but they're also a testament to the power of teamwork,
Absolutely.
communication, and adaptability.
They're amazing little creatures.
They really are. And speaking of learning,
Yes.
don't forget to check out
Yes.
Simple Pest Management's website and social media
Great resources.
for even more insights into the fascinating world of ants.
Absolutely.
They got some great visuals and articles.
Yeah, they do a really good job of breaking things down,
You do.
making it easy to understand.
Yeah. And of course, if you're facing an ant invasion that requires professional help,
Right.
they're the ones to call.
Yep.
They've got the knowledge and expertise
Mm-hmm.
to tackle any ant situation.
They're the pros.
So whether you're waging a solo battle
Yeah.
against those kitchen invaders
Right.
or calling in the reinforcements,
Yeah.
remember that knowledge is your greatest weapon.
Absolutely. The more you know,
Right.
the better equipped you are.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive
Yes.
into the world of ants,
The wonderful world of ants.
be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel
Yeah, we'd love to have you join us.
for more fascinating explorations.
We've got a lot more to explore.
We do.
So stay tuned.
We love sharing the joy of learning
Absolutely.
with you. It's what we're here for.
Until next time, stay curious.
Stay curious.
Stay informed.
Stay informed.
And may your kitchens remain forever ant-free.